Dear students, after that we started with the differential equations. Differential equations. In differential equation, we first of all we discussed about the degree and order. Degree and order. Now what is degree, what is order? Let us say it is d square y by dx square whole 4 plus 2 times of dy by dx plus 5 times of y is equal to some k, constant k, right? So what is the highest order derivative? That is called as the order. So the order of this differential equation will be 2. Degree will be equal to the power of the highest order, that is 4. So 2 will be the order and 4 will be the degree of this differential equation. After this, now one more thing. For example, some complicated thing is given to in examination, k raised to the power 1 by 2 or y raised to the power something. First of all, you always make it in a very simple form. And then you calculate the degree or the, you can say, order of the differential equation. Okay, do not just directly say that this is the degree or this is the order. First of all, you try to form it in the simplest manner. For example, let us say this is the differential equation given, that is dy by dx raised to the power 1 by 3, it is equal to d cube y by dx cube. Let us say this thing is given to you. If somebody is asking what is the degree and what is the order, you cannot say that the order is 3 and the degree is 1. You will be writing multiplied by 3 into 3. So it will be equal to dy by dx minus d cube y by dx cube raised to the power 3 is equal to 0. So you will say that, sir, its order is also 3 and its degree is also 3. After the order and the degree, we discussed about various types of solution of differential equations. How to form the differential equation, I am not going in detail in that we have already discussed in the class. So after this, we discussed about the first order differential equation. The first order differential equation. First order differential equation. The first thing that we have is the separable or separation of variables form. Separation of variables form. After the separation of variables, we have the exact differential equation. Exact differential equation. After the exact, we have the reducible to exact. Reducible to exact. Clear? Which can be reduced. Number 4, we discussed about homogeneous. Then reducible to homogeneous. Reducible to homogeneous. Now what is the meaning of homogeneous? If x and y, the summation of the powers of x and y is same throughout, that is called as homogeneous. What is linear? If the value of y, if the power of y is 1 in the differential equation, that is called as linear. Okay, so we have discussed about these types of equations, and last we discussed about number 6. We discussed about linear differential equation of first order, linear differential equation of first order, and last one the Bernoulli's differential equation or the Bernoulli's differential equation. Bernoulli's differential equation. These are the various types of differential equation that we discussed in the class. How to solve the separable variable form? You take x thing in one direction, y things in one direction. You just do the simple integration. That is how it will be done. Exact differential equation. If dou m by dou x, let us say you have an equation like this. M dx plus n dy is equal to some c or some 0, let us say. You have a differential equation like this. Clear? M dx plus n dy. If you have a differential equation like this, then this type of differential equation is said to be as an exact differential equation if dou m by dou x, dou m by dou y is equal to dou n by dou x. Then this type of differential equation is called as the exact differential equation. If it is an exact differential equation, how do you do the differential equation? Integration of m dx considering y as a constant and plus integration of n dy eliminating the terms containing x is equal to some constant c, and that is how we go with the differential equation. Some equations are not exact, even though they are in this form, but they are not exact. We make them exact by multiplying with a factor which is called as an integrating factor, and we have 6 rules for the integrating factor. The first rule is the visual examination. Okay. The second rule is, if it is in like this form, x dy minus y dx, then we multiply it with minus 1 upon y square. If it is x dx and plus n dy plus y dy, then what do? We multiply it with 1 upon x square. So for various things we have different types of rules, total of 6 rules. Homogeneous, we put v is equal to y is equal to vx. We put y is equal to vx, dy by dx is first function derivative of second plus second function derivative of first. Okay, then all the power, since what is the meaning of homogeneous? It will be like this: x cube, y cube, xy 5. So 3 plus 3 is 6, 5 plus 1 6. So the summation of the degrees will be same everywhere. Okay, so this was the concept. Then we have the reducible to homogeneous. Okay, just wait a second, students. Reducible to homogeneous. The last one is the linear differential equation of first order. For example, like this: dy by dx plus p dx is equal to q. P dy is equal to q is a function of x. So for this we have the integrating factor, that is e raised to the power integration of p dx, if you remember, right? Okay, so we have this y into integrating factor is equal to integration of q into integrating factor plus c. So this was the thing for the linear differential equation of the first order. For Bernoulli's, what did we have? So again it is a type of the linear differential equation of first order. The only thing is that this differential equation will be like this. So dx by dy and plus we have this p dy is equal to q, which is now a function of y, and for this we have the integrating factor, that is equal to e raised to power integration of p dy. Otherwise everything is same. It will be x into integrating factor is equal to integration of q into integrating factor plus c. So we discussed about the various types of differential equations in the. We have already solved a lot of questions in the class also. Then after this we discussed about the higher order differentials with constant coefficients. Higher order differential equations with constant coefficients. Higher order differential equation with constant coefficient. For example, we have like this: d raised to power n dxn plus a1 d n minus 1 dxn minus 1 so on into y is equal to 0. If you have a differential equation like this, it is called as a differential equation of higher order with constant coefficients. This d by dx can also be written as capital D. Okay, D inverse means integration. For this we have the solution like this: y is equal to complementary function plus particular integral. Now how to get this CF and PI? We have various rules. First, if the roots are real and distinct, CF is given by C1 e raised to the power m1x plus c2 e raised to the power m2x and plus so on. If the roots are m1, m2 and m3 and so on. CF. Pi is given by Q upon f of d. What is this Q? Q is the right hand side. This differential equation can also be written as d dn plus a n dn plus a1, let us say it is Q, not 0, it is Q, let us say a1 d n minus 1 plus a2 d n minus 2 plus so on into y is equal to Q. Particular interval will be equal to Q divided by f of d. If the roots are imaginary, then also we discussed how do we have to get the roots, right? If the roots are irrational, then also we know how to get the roots. The only problem that you were facing was in the particular integral. Now in particular integral, if this Q, it is an algebraic function, then what you have to do? You have to expand in the powers of d. For example, you have like this, Q is an algebraic function divided by f of d. You take it like this, f of d inverse and Q. Then you expand this f of d by the binomial expansion. And we know that d is equal to d by dx. You keep on doing the derivative unless you don't get zero value. Then we have, if this Q is e raised to the power something, let me write it here. If this d is e raised to the power something, then what will be the value of this particular integral? If this Q is e raised to the power ax, then just replace d with a. So it will be particular integral will be equal to Q divided by f of a. Until and unless this f of a is not equal to 0. If this f of a becomes equal to 0, for that we have the various methods. Clear? Either you convert it in some other form, you can break this denominator, right? You can break this f of d in some other factor, right? Then you put the value of this. So this thing can also be broken as, it will become 1 of f of d minus a, something like this, raised to the power, let us say m, into some other function phi of d, some other function, it can be broken, e raised to the power a into x. Then you put the values. Clear? And ultimately you will be getting 1 upon the phi of this function, the phi of a into x raised to the power n upon n factorial into e raised to the power ax. So we have already done a lot of questions on this topic in the class also. If you have this q is equal to sine ax or cos ax, just replace this d square with minus a square. Just replace this d square with minus a square. It will become very simple for you. And how this assumption has been derived, I have already told in the class also. Just apply the general rule. Once you apply the general rule, you will be getting this expression. After this, after this, students, we discussed about the heat and the wave equations. Before discussing the heat, I also told you the basic about the how to solve the partial differential equation by the method of variation of parameters, okay, by change of variables, okay, by change of variables. We discussed all these things, how it can be done. Now, but after this, we discussed about the heat and the wave equation. Heat and wave equation. I'm directly writing the solution of the wave equation. So we had three solutions of the wave equation, but the solution that we accepted was u xt is equal to c1 cos pc plus C2 sine PC, and time will also be there, but it is a function of time, into C3 cos px plus C4 sine px. This was the final equation that we had actually accepted. Okay, where P square is equal to K is equal to some constant value. That is also called as a string constant. So this was the final solution that we had accepted. So it was a 1 hour derivation that we also derived in the class. So we were getting three values. Out of these three values, only this value or this solution of the wave equation was satisfying our criteria completely, because we know that, let us say this is a string, right? Once you just pick it from here and then you release it, then it is a sinusoidal function. Okay, it is a sinusoidal function, and only this thing was satisfying that particular equation. Similarly, we had this heat equation. And heat equation, we know that if this is a rod, it is initially heated at T is equal to 0, it is heated with some temperature. As the time is passing, the heat will slowly keep on decreasing, and hence we derive the heat equation with the help of that particular concept. After this equation, the heat and the three-dimensional wave equation or the string equation, we discussed about the Laplace. After this, we discussed about the Laplace theory. Laplace theory. Let me rub it and write the Laplace here, because we have to go sequence wise. I should not miss anything. Let me check it. Okay, after this we discussed about yes, we discussed about Laplace. And with the help of various boundary conditions, ultimately what we had got, an is equal to this, right? an is equal to integration from minus infinity to infinity, 0 to infinity sine mx into cos nx. That thing I'm not telling you because we have already done that thing in the class itself. Applying the various boundary conditions to get the value of C1, C2, C3 and C4. This was the main equation. Now it depends in the examination what are the various boundary conditions given to you. And with the help of those boundary conditions, you have to ultimately arrive at the solution. Laplace of f of t, right? It is given by f bar s integration from 0 to infinity e raised to the power ax, e raised to the power minus st, e raised to the power minus st ft dt. This is the basic definition of Laplace. And we got some results. That is, Laplace of t raised to power n is equal to gamma of n plus 1 divided by Sn plus 1. This was the first value that we had got. Now we have some properties of gamma. Gamma of n plus 1 is equal to n plus 1 into gamma of n. Gamma of n plus 1 is equal to n into gamma of n minus 1. N into gamma of n minus 1. After this Laplace of t raised to the power n, we also discussed about the Laplace of e raised to the power at. Laplace of e raised to the power at. These are the elementary functions that we have already discussed in the class. It came out to be, once you put the values of e raised to the power minus st and this, it comes out to be 1 upon s minus a. Then Laplace of sine at. How can it be derived? Just put the values, okay? It will be equal to a upon a square plus s square. A upon s square plus a square. Because in this we applied this formula, e raised to the power minus ax minus integration of from 0 to infinity, okay, into sine bx dx, into sine of bx dx. We apply this formula. It is equal to e raised to power ax divided by a square plus b square. Then we had a sin x minus b cos x, a sin bx minus b cos bx, a sin bx minus b cos bx. We applied this formula, ultimately we got this relation. Similarly, for Laplace of cos at, we had s upon s square minus a square. S square, it is cos, right? So a square, plus a square. S upon s square plus a square. Then we discussed about the hyperbolic function. Hyperbolic function, even if you do not remember, you can directly do it with the help of this particular thing. Because cos hyperbolic x and sin hyperbolic x, I have already told you. So sin hyperbolic x is equals to given by sin hyperbolic x is equals to e raised to power x minus e raised to power minus x divided by 2, and cos hyperbolic x is equals to e raised to power x plus e raised to power minus x divided by 2. Either you can use this or you can also learn it. It depends on you. So Laplace transform of sine hyperbolic at, it came out to be a square divided by s square minus a square. And Laplace transform of cos hyperbolic at, it came out to be s square divided by s square minus a square. Then we discussed about some properties of this Laplace transform. While solving any question, right? For example, apart from these elementary functions, let us say it is given to you, calculate the Laplace transform of e raised to power ax into e raised to power at into cos at. So it is a product of two functions. Now how to apply the properties of Laplace we discussed in the properties. And how these properties have actually been derived, that also we discuss in the class. But here in the revision session I am just writing the properties. I will not be deriving the properties obviously. The first property is the shifting property. So Laplace of e raised to the power at f of t. Let us say that some function is multiplied by e raised to power at. It is equal to f of s minus a. Just calculate the Laplace of e raised to power at and just convert or just put s is equals to s minus a. For example, we know the Laplace of cos 3t. So cos 3t Laplace will be equal to cos 3t will be equal to s upon s square plus 9. S upon s square plus 9, because it is s upon s square plus a square. A is equal to 3. See, Laplace transform of e raised to the power, let us say I am writing it as e raised to power 2t. E raised to power 2t cos 3t. Just put s is equals to s minus a. S minus 2 divided by s minus 2 whole square and plus 9. You solve it, you will get the answer. The second property was, this was the first property, this is called the shifting property. This is called as the shifting property. Second is the multiply by t property. Multiply by t property. And Laplace transform of every function is not possible. For example, Laplace of 10x is not possible. 1080 is not possible. You will just keep on going, it will not be ending, okay? So it doesn't mean that you can find out the Laplace of every function. For some function it is not possible. Let us say that you know Laplace transform of f of t, you know that it is equal to f bar s. You know it. Now if this f of t is multiplied by t, you have to find the Laplace transform of t f of t. And you know the Laplace transform of this f of t. It is given by minus d by ds Laplace transform of that function which you already knew. After this we had the divide by t property. Divide by t property. Let us say that you know the Laplace transform of f of t is equal to, let us say, f bar s, for example. Okay. Now the Laplace transform of f of t divided by t, it will be equal to integration from 0 to infinity. Integration from 0 to infinity. So not 0, s, because here it is s, it is right. S to infinity. S infinity f bar s ds. That is the divide by t property. So these are the various properties that we discussed in the class. After this we also discussed about the inverse Laplace. In inverse Laplace you have to apply the opposite function, right? In inverse Laplace you have to apply the opposite function. So the inverse Laplace of s upon s square plus 9 will be equal to cos 3t. Inverse Laplace of s minus 2 upon s minus 2 whole square plus 9 will be equal to e raised to power 2t into cos 3t. Okay? If you know the Laplace transform, the inverse Laplace also becomes very easy. After this, students, we started with the probability and statistics portion. So this was the last portion of the differential equations. The question is, sir, why we are discussing this in differential equation? Actually, with the help of Laplace, you can solve very complicated differential equations, which is there not in the syllabus obviously, because we have already discussed a lot of methods. You can solve any type of differential equation with those methods. But practically, a lot of differential equations can be easily solved by applying the Laplace theory. Okay, so that is why this portion has been kept in the differential equations. Otherwise, you can also study it some Laplace transform. There is some other chapter in that also you can study it. But I taught you in the differential equations. After this, the last chapter, we started with the probability and stats. In probability, first of all, we discussed about the conditional probability. Before conditional probability, we discussed about the this sample space, random variable, all these things, right? Conditional probability. We solved some questions on conditional probability. Now, what is the conditional probability? The probability of any event if some other event has actually happened, has already occurred, then what is the probability of that event? That we discussed in the conditional probability. Now, what are the various rules of addition? The rules of multiplication. When do we add the probability? When do we multiply the probability? That we also discussed in the class. Number 2, we discussed about total probability theorem. Total probability. That is the summation of probability, everything is 1, and how to get the total probability. That thing we discussed. After this, the main topic was, this thing we already discussed in class 12th also. In class 12th also this topic was there. But after this we discussed about a random variable. Random variable. Now random variable can be of two types. One is the discrete and one is continuous. For example, you have tossed a head 3 times. So the sample space will be head, 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 tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, 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 tail, 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 head, tail, tail, tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One is missing. Head, head, tail, head, tail, head, head, tail, 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 head. It will be tail, head, tail. Tail, head, tail. Tail, head, tail is not there. Yes, correct. It will be tail, tail, tail. So this is the sample space. If somebody is asking you the probability of getting all the 3 heads, probability that is x will be equal to 3. Now what is this x? X I have defined myself. X is the number of heads. Number of heads. So this x becomes a random variable, which is a discrete random variable. In this case, x is equals to 3, it will be 1 by 8. Probability of x is equals to 2, getting head 2 times. 1, 2, 3, that is 3 by 8, and so on. And the probability of summation of probability of x, it always equal to 1. So this is what we discussed in the discrete random variable. Then we had the continuous random variable. Now continuous random variable, if the graph is continuous, if you are defining a random variable, that is called as the continuous random variable, especially in the case of Poisson distribution, in the case of normal distribution, in the case of binomial distribution, not binomial, in the case of normal distribution, we had the continuous random variable. Okay, for Poisson distribution, we discussed the function of the Poisson distribution. The probability of R, or X, whatever you want to call, e raised to the power minus m into R divided by R factorial. This is what we have already discussed in the Poisson distribution. This was the formula of Poisson distribution. So it will be given to you in question itself in the GATE exam. Suppose that something follows Poisson distribution. The probability of getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 1000 will be how much? So it will be e raised to power minus m into r. Now what is this m? M is the mean. And what does this mean? The number of terms multiplied by the probability of success. That is n. M is the mean. Okay. We also discussed about the Bernoulli trials. Bernoulli trial is very simple. Probability of x is equal to ncx p raised to the power x into q raised to the power n minus x, and p plus q is equal to 1. If the number of trials are very high, let us say you have tossed a coin 1000 times, 500 times, then for that we have this type of Bernoulli trials. The last but not the least, we discussed about the normal distribution. Then here we also discuss about the moment generating function, the moment about the mean, the moment about the origin, which one is greater, which one is smaller. We discussed all those things that I am not going to repeat. It is a very long topic, by the way. So, but here we also discussed about the moment generating function also. And how the moment generating function is actually derived. What is expectation of x? Expectation of x means mean of x, right? Expectation of x, that is the mean of x. Then we discuss about the Poisson function. So f of x is given by 1 upon sigma under root 2 times of pi e raised to the power minus x minus mu, mu is the mean, whole square divided by 2 times of sigma whole square, where sigma is the standard deviation and the graph of the normal distribution, it is a bell-shaped curve, it goes like this. And we discussed about the properties of the normal distribution curve and how do you get the value of this z. Z is equals to x minus mu upon sigma. That is what the z is, probability generating function, right, z. And how do we get the value of this z? I already told you. This is the mean value, mean. Okay, sigma is the standard deviation, which is the square, which is the under root of variance. Sigma is equal to under root of variance. Okay, and how to calculate the probability? For example, you want to calculate the probability of this. Then how do you get the probability? How do you see the graph? That also I have already told in the class also. So this is about the normal distribution function. After this, dear students, we started the statics portion. In the statics, we discussed about what is this mean and this all these things. But the most important thing that we discussed, it was about the regression analysis. Suppose that, students, a lot of data has been given to you. A lot of data has been given to you, and you have to find the best fit data. A lot of data has been given to you. For example, you are doing some research, you are getting a lot of data, and you have also been given that this data follows a linear distribution. For example, let me explain it to you here. Let us say that a lot of data has been given to you, a lot of points have been given to you, and you have to find the best fit line. So we know that the equation of the line is y is equal to mx plus c. This is the equation of the line. You do the summation of data. So y1, y2, y3, y4, n values are given, x1, x2, x3, x4, n values are given. You do the summation. Summation of this, and summation of this. Clear? So you will be given some y, you will be given some x, okay, and you will be given some constant also. Let us say some constant is also there. You do the summation of this, summation of this, summation of this, and summation of this. You put it in the equation. You will be getting the best fit line. Best fit line. If a curve is given to you, if it is said that if it is said that we have this y is equal to x square is a curve and you have to fit the points of this curve in a straight line, you take log. Log of y is equal to 2 log of x. And you put this x is equal to small x and this log y is equal to small y. And then again you do the same thing. Summation of y is equal to summation of x and you put all these values here. That will be the best fit line. After this, we discuss about the regression analysis. In regression analysis, so we have two types of lines. One is the regression line y on x. It is defined as y minus y bar. It is equal to byx into x minus x bar. And the regression line of x on y is defined as x minus x bar. X bar and y bar are the mean values. bxy into y minus y bar. And how to get this bxy and byx? Byx is given by rho into sigma y divided by sigma x. Clear? Similarly, bxy is given by rho into sigma x upon sigma y. We also discussed about this rho. What is this rho? Coefficient of regression. Okay? It means that how the values of two data are similar. If, for example, one regression line is this and one regression line is this, so there is no similarity between these two lines. It is making an angle of perpendicular here. Okay, so the value of this rho will be very high, nearly 1. Smaller the value of rho, the more closer the two lines are. And if the value of rho is 0, both lines are coinciding with each other. That we already have discussed in the class also. And how to get the value of this byx and bxy with the help of the statistical values, we have also solved that thing also. Okay, students, so this was about the mathematics portion that we discussed in the class. So I hope that it was a quick revision for you. Obviously, we have not solved a lot of numericals in the class because already in the revision class, because in the actual class we have already solved a lot of numericals. It was just a quick look for you that is what you have to do. Now the question is, sir, GATE exam is approaching, GATE is very near. So if my mathematics is very weak, on which topic should I consider, should I focus more? Now let me come to this question also, because a few days back I had this question from some of you that, sir, due to some this is the reason I could not prepare for GATE with a full throttle. So what should I do? Because the GATE is approaching. Now let me tell you about mathematics only. For other subjects, other faculties will tell you. Only mathematics I will be telling you. So on which points or which topics you should focus more? Let us start with the matrices. In matrices, rank. Number 2, eigenvalues. Eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Number 1 point. So first chapter is over. If you have not prepared mathematics at all, do this thing in mathematics in the first chapter. Number 2, let us come to the complex. In complex, do residual theorem. Once you do the residual theorem, automatically your Cauchy integral formula and Cauchy theorem will be clear to you. Do the residual theorem only, everything will be fine. Number 4, let us go to some other chapter. Other chapter, let us say it is calculus. Number 1, maxima minima. maxima, minima. In calculus, do maxima, minima is important. In calculus, you also do Taylor series. Taylor series. Number 6, limit. How to find the limit, especially the L'Hospital's rule. Do these 3 things, more than enough. Let us move to some other chapter, differential equations, which is considered to be the lengthiest chapter in mathematics. Differential equation. Number 1, do homogeneous higher order differential equations. Number 2, learn wave equation. Wave and heat equation, because almost both are similar. Wave and heat equation. 9, Laplace properties. Laplace properties. Number 10, that is more than enough for differential. Number 10, numerical methods. Newton-Raphson method, must. 11, Euler's method. Do not do the modified method. Number 12, Runge-Kutta method, RKM. Numerical method over. This is for only those students who have not prepared at all. And students who have prepared very well, there is no need to just focus on these points, otherwise there is no need. Okay. 13, numerical methods over. No need to focus more. Let us move to the last chapter, that is the probability and stats. Probability and stats, Poisson distribution. 14, because I am assuming that you can do the conditional probability very easily, because that thing we have already done in the class 11th and 12th also, the conditional probability. 14, Poisson distribution. Then we have this normal distribution, important. Normal distribution, the properties of the normal distribution curve. Normal distribution. Last thing is best fit curve. Best fit curve. So these are the 15 topics, dear students. If you have not at all prepared mathematics, just do these 15 topics, but these 15 topics should be very strong, right? So if you do these 15 topics very strongly, you will be getting 70% marks in maths. That is for sure. 70%, because 70% of the syllabus is coming in mathematics, coming from these topics only. Rest 30% can be anything. So if you have not prepared mathematics at all, you can focus on these topics and you will get through in mathematics. So I hope that the revision session was beneficial for you, dear students. Okay. So thank you everyone. Have a nice day and all the very best for the GATE exam. Thank you. Bye.